performance leader. Is this your leadership style? Over the last 5 years, coaching literally hundreds of leaders, I started to notice that there was a pattern. There were 3 types of leaders: the performance leader, the purpose leader, and the well-being leader. Each of us is a unique combination of these 3 leadership types, each with their own strengths and challenges. So hi, I'm 𝗁𝗍𝗹𝗆. I'm the founder of Pop and the 𝗪𝗓𝗏 Offsite. And in this episode, we're diving in to understand one of these 3 types, the performance leader. Look, this one is particularly familiar and a personal one for me. It's also the top leadership style of most organizations. And whilst there are enormous strengths with this one being our dominant style, there are pitfalls as well. That's what we're going to dive into here. Now, before we kick off, if you've not watched this video right here, then I highly recommend starting there. In this, we cover the 3 types of leaders and why it's so blooming important to understand yourself as a leader so you can show up as you want. So perhaps you're watching this because you found out you are the performance leader, or that was your dominant style. Perhaps you just want to understand more about it, more about the strengths and challenges associated with being a performance leader. Either way, we're going to get into it here. The performance leader. If you haven't already, go find out your dominant leadership style. I'm not sure where we're starting this video, but hopefully you've already worked out whether or not this is number 1 for you. Now, it doesn't actually matter if performance leadership isn't your number 1. Actually, having an understanding of all 3 is really, really powerful. So a performance leader might think something a little bit like this. Leadership belongs to those who take it. This is from Sheryl Sandberg, ex-COO of Facebook and the author of Lean In. If you are the performance leader, it might be likely that this sounds pretty familiar. Perhaps you're focused on constant and never-ending improvement. You're always looking to make things better. You're always looking to be the best that you can be, or better yourself, or better than anyone else. And you're willing to work hard to make that happen. See, the performance leader works hard to get results. They're generally intelligent, savvy, and they're driven individuals who are committed to excellence. In terms of what the performance leader prioritizes, often this is the career, their work. It could be their mission. It doesn't necessarily have to be that it's your job, but you are looking to grow in everything that you do. Potentially you're focused and you prioritize finances, be that the finances of the organization that you work for or your own personal financial growth. You love a challenge, you love to learn, and it's likely you enjoy networking. Or maybe not enjoy networking, but think it's important or see the value of networking. Some of the challenges that are associated with being a performance leader is burnout. Well, this is one that was extremely familiar to me. Sometimes we can also be so focused on driving results and delivering that we miss the bigger picture. We're so focused on the short term, we miss that longer term, bigger picture impact. We can also be highly reliant on external validation, pats on the back, congratulations, awards, promotions, that sort of thing can be areas that we think are very important and we over lean into. Some of the fears that might come up for a performance leader is being average. I could not imagine anything worse than being called average, or being called average in something that I was really giving a go. One of the other fears that can come up is being found out. Imposter syndrome can be rife for a performance leader, and then we're constantly proving ourselves because we're afraid that we might not be good enough. We can fear letting ourselves down, but also letting other people down. So as I was talking about this, how much of this sounds familiar? Because I bet that some of it does. And the point of the leadership styles is not that we are just one type. It's just how much of what I'm saying sounds like you. So some examples of some performance-led organizations or performance leader style organizations are Google, Gillette, Red Bull. Their focus there is very much on performance, on data, on analytics, on constant improvement. We look at Red Bull as an example, which leans very much into extreme sports and performance-led sports. Again, it coming down to drive to delivering results. If we think about some individuals who are highly performance leader-esque, we could think about Sheryl Sandberg, who gave the quote right at the beginning, Angela Merkel, Jeff Bezos. So as I've talked this through, how much did all of this sound like you? As I say, it's a slidey scale. It might be that you think, hell yes, Chloe, what you've just said was 100% me. If that was you, if you did resonate with a lot of that, well, I can say, so did I. Performance leadership used to be my dominant type. But as with everything, when we overlean into one, like our performance leadership, it can have an impact. There can be consequences. Some of those we've explored earlier on in the video, and if you missed them, then go back and watch. But I'm going to ask you to reflect for yourself on what is the impact of your performance leadership? What are the costs associated, and what might this all mean for you as a leader? I'm going to spend a little bit more time on the performance leader than any of the other types, partly because we live in a highly performance-led world. So it might be that this isn't your natural dominant style, but you can recognize performance leadership in the organizations that you work in the community that you live in. Performance leadership is probably the most common style of leadership that we see around the world, particularly in the kind of organizations that I work with. As a result, we see things like high sense of urgency, like lots of busy work. And I think there's absolutely a role for performance leadership to play. But with only 1 in 10 in the UK being actively engaged at work, we're more disconnected and disparate than ever before. Just thinking about and relying on our performance leadership or leaning too heavily in it can be detrimental overall, which is why leaning into some of our other styles can be so important, becoming that leader that lasts, leaning into our purpose and our well-being as well as our performance leadership. So there are some videos coming up over the next 2 weeks. So if you want to learn more about those 2 other leadership types, leadership styles, the videos are coming out over the next couple of weeks. By the time you're watching this, they might already be available. If they are, we will leave a link to watch them now. Thank you so much for watching this video. My ask for you, if this has been at all helpful, is please like, share, subscribe. I can't tell you just how valuable that is for a YouTube channel starting out. And I am on a mission to help more people elevate their leadership by stepping into the best of who they are. So if you haven't already done that, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Was this your dominant style? And did what I was talking about sound familiar for you or your organization? Look forward to seeing you on the next video.